This video is about how to maintain the chain on your dirt bike. Even with high quality chains and sprockets, they will wear out much quicker if you don't clean them regularly and also lubricate them. To clean the chain, I use kerosene and a rag. The rag doesn't need to be clean, obviously, because it's going to get pretty dirty from the chain. Most chain manufacturers recommend using kerosene because it doesn't damage the seals. I'm using a X-ring DID chain, and no problem at all using kerosene. If you want to use a spray cleaner, make sure it's safe for your chain. And then for lubing, you can use any lube you like. I use the Motorex off-road lube, which works pretty well. And then once you've cleaned and lubed the chain, I like to check the chain tension. So I use a caliper to do that measurement. A couple of safety points when cleaning the chain. You should never have the bike running. That should be pretty obvious. You don't want your fingers around the sprockets when the bike's running. But even if it's not running, you should be careful when turning the wheel. If I'm cleaning it here, holding it here, I always rotate it this way. There's no way my hand can get sucked into the sprocket. If you turn it this way, there's a chance you could sandwich your fingers in here. So always turn it that way if you're working that. And the same with the front sprocket. So to clean the chain, I put some kerosene onto a rag and clean the inner surface of the chain first. If you press up, it helps. And then I move on to the outside surfaces. Kind of grip the chain with the rag. And that pretty much takes most of the dirt off the chain. If you've still got some dirt, you can just go around it bit by bit and kind of remove it. That looks pretty clean now. Once the kerosene is dried off the chain, you can lube the chain. I like to lube it up here rather than on the rear sprocket. If you do it by the rear sprocket, there's a chance of getting some lube on the rear brake, which obviously isn't good. So the way I do it is like this. I start on the outer surface, go right around the chain. The reason I put the rag there is to stop any overspray going everywhere. And then I do the inner surface. And then you can do the outer surfaces as well. Go around to do the other side. And once I've lubed it, I like to take any excess lube off the chain, just using the rag. If you don't do that, the lube tends to fling off the chain when you ride it and make quite a mess. And that's the lubing, cleaning, lubing complete. Another important part of chain maintenance is checking and adjusting the chain slack. If it's too tight, when the wheel goes up, it'll put a lot of strain on the countershaft and can result in the countershaft oil seal leaking. If the chain is too slack, it could come off, derail while you're riding. So it's important to check and adjust it if it's out of spec. For the KTM EXE bikes, the spec is between 55mm and 58. The way you measure it is I use a caliper to make it easy. Set it to the minimum, so it's set to 55mm right now. And you measure the distance between the swing arm here and the chain when you pull it up, just behind here. So you can see here, the distance is slightly more than the minimum, and then you can go to the maximum 58 and check that it's less than the maximum. So right now it's pretty much in the middle of where it should be, so I don't need to adjust it. So I hope this video has shown you that it's very easy to clean and lubricate your chain. If you do this regularly, it should minimize any problems you have with the chain while riding, and also maximize the life of the chain and sprockets.